You're not who you could be, but you are closer than you think. Hello, welcome to the
Hello.
Futurist Mindset Show. My name is Tessa, and I'm here to introduce you to Reagan. Reagan Rodriguez is a futurist who teaches stratosphere wealthy legacy families how to become impact investors. Hi, Reagan. How are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve. And how about yourself? You look like you're doing pretty good yourself.
Yes, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with you again, and I'm excited to hear what topics we are covering today.
Yeah, I had been doing some thinking on this, and there's a few things I want to, it's interesting, the title. Here's what I really mean by that, right? When I say you're not yet who you could be, but you could be someone truly exceptional. Okay, I want everyone to understand that's not a criticism, that's an invitation. Because sometimes there's this gap between the life you've built and then maybe that one that you know you've been built to live. And that's not shame, that gap, that's a signal. That is this quiet pull that's maybe whispering that you need more or you were made for more. And one of the things that I teach my clients do is I know exactly what to do with that whisper, because people don't walk through our doors all figured out, right? They may come to me a little bit frustrated, and knowing that says that, hey, Regan, I've tasted potential, but I haven't really feasted yet. That's my typical clients. They've maybe seen flashes of that stronger version of them, right? That one that maybe didn't flinch under pressure, because you chose truth over comfort, action over hesitation, and integrity when no one was watching. And that's not a fluke. What that was is evidence. That was really evidence that that extraordinary version of you is inside, and it's just waiting for that right environment, maybe that right circle or that right initiation to then maybe rise. This is what I help our clients do. We're a private circle, and your highest self isn't just welcome. It is what's expected. Okay, I'm not a coaching program. We're not some loud podcast or some mastermind. Instead, we're a club from people that are done from watching from the outside. They want to step into the room where legacy is negotiated in whispers. I want you to be that one that finally stops saying, well, that's just who I am. No, what I'd like you to say is, this is who I am becoming. Because inside the club, your future is no longer a someday fantasy. I'm going to give you strategies. I'm going to then teach you how to speak to yourself like a founder, not like a failure. I want you to think of this. If your closest friend made a mistake, would you berate them, Tessa, and tell them they'll never make it? No, of course you wouldn't, right? So then why do we speak to ourselves that way? I don't let people do that. If you're a client of mine, I'm going to teach you how to rewrite that inner dialogue. I'm going to teach you to stop being your worst critic and become your trusted strategist instead. I've noticed that there is power in the way that you talk to yourself. And most people are stuck in these loops that then sabotage them. Not you. Not anymore. Okay, I'm going to teach you to aim small, move fast, compound power. Okay, what do I mean by that? Forget the hype. I don't like these people that come to me and say, are you going to teach me how to 10x? No, I'm going to teach you how to 1% your way to greatness. One clean deal, one refined pitch, one clarifying offer. I'm going to teach you day by day, brick by brick. We're going to help build a foundation of an empire that's then going to forget the noise, okay? Forget the trends. I know that progress doesn't seem sexy, but it is the man or woman that shows up when no one's clapping. Okay, think about this. It's when you're building that muscle in silence until that rest then becomes undeniable. What I teach people is how we're going to compound that capital. It's going to grow, it's going to stack, it's going to get noticed. You clean your room, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you cleaned your mind?
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine walking into a cluttered room where there's chaos, there's noise, and everywhere you look, there are distractions. Now imagine that same mess right here, right? What I'm going to teach you is not only organizing your external assets, I'm going to help you clean your inner operating system. We're going to go from those outdated beliefs, that self-sabotaging patterns, those borrowed stories about what's possible. I'd like you to take out that mental trash, because then there's not going to be room for what you truly want. I'm going to teach you that discipline that's going to make you dangerous, right? Most people talk about discipline as if it's a boring habit. I don't. Discipline is going to be your freedom edge. It is that hidden level that kind of tilts that room in your favor. It is what makes you dangerous. And I say that in the best way. I want you to be that leader that's going to stay steady when the others collapse. I do not teach hustle. I instead install certainty. Remember, truth is going to be your compass. As I mentioned, pain is going to be that door. And yes, there will come a moment, maybe it's today, where you've got to maybe admit that you're tired of hiding behind your own potential. I don't think that if you're watching this, you're incapable. I think that you've been stuck in comfort. You've been seduced by distraction. And maybe you've been waiting for a sign of when's the right time. I've been there before. Well, I'll give you the sign. This is the sign. The only thing that's keeping you from where you are and that empire you want to build is really just action. And this is what we teach people how to do. We're going to back it by vision. We're going to reinforce it by guidance. And you're then going to be surrounded by others who also refuse to settle. I'd like you to join the room where your future is already sitting. That's what, look, this is not for that person that just wants a shortcut or a cookie cutter seminar. This is for that person that's done pretending, done waiting, done hiding that power that they know that they have. So if that's you, you already know what to do next. You're going to step in. You're going to unlock that version of yourself that's been waiting behind that velvet rope of possibility. You may not be who you could be, but what you're going to learn by working with me is that you can be that remarkable person. What I think I want to do is kind of wrap up what I say let me wrap it up in one sentence that really came from you in that intro, where, look, you've got to prepare to meet that person that's been locked behind hesitation by far too long, right? What I'd like to do is maybe go over the 9 kind of power pillars within the playbook, okay? The first one, best way to say it, is just welcome to this club, right? You're not who you could be yet. But maybe with the right deals, the right strategies, maybe with the right leverage, you can own the table, okay, that everyone's trying to sit at. I think the second thing that I went over, I'm looking here on my other laptop here. Oh, I mentioned speak order into being and into your term sheets, right? Have clarity of thought about you. Stop negotiating with this chaos, okay? Start structuring with conviction, right? And I'm going to teach you to speak your vision into existence, okay? And again, I don't care if you're working out of your kitchen, you're going to speak positive. It's the third thing I went over here. Aim upward, but leverage downward. What do I mean by that? Aim for distressed gold. You're going to go for below market. Aim high on vision, but get in low with leverage. That's how you're going to win that acquisition game. And then the fourth point that I went over, I believe, was carry that heaviest load you can. And you want to do that on the seller's shoulders. Okay. Seller financing, it's not some loophole. I make it to be like my lifestyle. Okay. I carry that vision with me where it's relevant. Okay. Don't make it like a burden. You're going to beautifully set it up on the back end. I think the fifth thing then I went over was discipline is freedom, right? I said, but delegation is wealth. So don't do it all. You want to find operators. You want to build the systems. I think the other thing I went over, I think number 6 was truth is my battery
Oh,
is
no.
low.
Oh.
And it's okay. 6th thing I went over is that truth is the antidote to chaos, right? Especially on the cap table. Don't give me any vanity metrics. Nope. We like clean deal flow, real numbers, and founders who have faced failure, but they still stayed standing. That's who we back, and this is who we become. Okay, let's see. 7th thing. Oh, that's right. You're not a victim. Think about this. You're a evaluator. That bad deal, think of it as a lesson. That investor that ghosted you, I look at that as a gift. That rejection, it's just rerouting. Okay. Everything that happens in your life is just raw material for that next deal. Okay. I want you to take control of that narrative. And then the 8th point that I brought up was that we don't scale by playing small, right? Let's not play small ball here. You're here, you're listening to this. I don't think you're wired for mediocrity. Okay. You build that growth engine, and then I'll teach you how to sell that. This is how our underground members move. And then the last point I think I went over, number 9, was to buy the business and not the bull, right? We've all seen those emails or these gurus. And what I've noticed is real players like me, we move in silence. We structure in shadows. If you want to play that zero down game with real strategy, look, then that's what's available to you. Okay. I think that's it. Tessa, anything you wanted to go over? I saw your body language on one of them. I think when I went over something discipline or what questions do you have?
Actually, I didn't have a question. I just wanted to stress that I like the way that you mentioned to take out the mental trash and to build in discipline so that you can become the person that you want to be, because you're not going to get there if you don't have the discipline and you don't have a clean mind, So I just wanted to say I love that you said that. And I also want to make sure that we mention where they can come find out about the Underground Club. So that's on
before
the
you
website.
Close there. You said you wanted to mention that. I kind of maybe wish you didn't, but the reason why I say that is because I'm going to kind of tell on myself here. I think when we're normally used to hearing the so-called gurus, which I'm not, you think they don't have any faults. You think that and I kept saying about clean your room, but also clean your mind. Tessa, you know this. Today you sent me a text. Took me a while to get back to you. Said, are we still recording today? Emails. I mean, I was maybe not myself. And you're thinking, what the heck does Reagan's office look like? What's his room? Well, things kind of look organized and clean here. What you don't know is here over to the side, I moved that and I had to put everything over here that I got to find stuff. And then that's nothing. I had other things underneath here. And I got another stack. And here's the worst part about this stack. You want to know how old this is of stuff? The last time I flew on a plane, I took down notes on this barf bag. And I have notes on this barf bag. Yeah. So I need to clean my room as well. Do you see though, you and serious, you know me to always if I can say be organized, not be and so you wonder what happened today. Maybe that's what happened. Is that I'm thinking, gosh, I need to clean. I haven't done this. I haven't done. Let's clean our room and let's clean our mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, there are days that it gets out of control because life is out of control. It's just part of life. It's part of business. So some days you can't control as much as you would like, I'm sure.
I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, the real me normally likes to have a clean desk or a clean room. And I have other things on my mind. And so sometimes it's not that you're not organized. It's that maybe you have a lot of other things in your life going on. And those things are priorities over cleaning your room. So don't beat yourself up about it. Sometimes it's just that you've got other things, right? Then again, I once heard a kind of a joke that someone said, if a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind, then a clean desk is a empty mind, right? That's what I think it was, an empty. It's a cluttered desk, a cluttered mind. So then an empty desk is an empty mind. I don't know if we want that. So go for it, Tessa. Please close us out. Please.
To make sure everyone knew where to reach you at. So you can find out more about the Underground Club from the website, and you just go to the contact form, and just about any button you click on will put you at the contact form to reach Reagan. But the website is Fifth Avenue Capital, so it's 5THAAVC.com. So I'll put that on the screen. You guys can go to the website, and it's also in the notes for today's show. We'll definitely have more information on the website soon about the Underground Club, but I'm just excited because it sounds like an amazing place for people who want to be movers and shakers in the world. So thank you so much, Reagan. And if you'd like to hit the bell, you can get notifications when we go live. You can find out more about the projects that Reagan does, Fifth Avenue Capital, and a lot of great things and advice and lots of wisdom on this show for sure. So thank you so much, Reagan. I appreciate you, and we'll see you all next week. Have a great week.